Right. Welcome to Unicorn After Dark. We're not only talking about all things independent comics, but everything comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Seamus.
Today, people, we're back at another episode of Indie Corner After Dark, episode number 37 of the podcast. And yeah, we're back onto the regular news format of the news format of After Dark because a lot of stuff has been announced over the past week and a half. So yeah, we got a variety of topics. Some not as in some small, some huge in terms of pop culture and all that. So yeah, Seamus, Rebecca, thanks for joining me as always. I always appreciate it. And hopefully it's gonna be a fun conversation. Maybe a lot of excitement, a lot of anger, a lot of confusion. It's a lot. So we're looking forward to it. But for first things first, people, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. What are you talking about? Come on. Why are you here if you're not going to subscribe to us? We make good stuff here, I think. I would assume. So please subscribe.
I would assume, as the owner of the channel says.
Yeah, even I'm not sure if we make good stuff, but it's subjective at the end of the day. But yeah, so yeah, subscribe and then check out all our other content on the channel. All right, so first topic, first small topic, just to get this out of the way. But a little over a week and a half ago, DC Studios, good old DC Studios, the new film division of Warner Brothers, run by James Gunn, Peter Safran, developing a lot of DC content, announced that they announced a new animated series focusing on the character of Mr. Miracle. And so Mr. Miracle is going to be getting a animated series under, DC Studios. And from the looks of it, it's I think from the article that I read, it is going to be kind of somewhat based on, or at least loosely based on the Tom King run of Mr. Miracle, which is obviously a critically acclaimed comic. It's phenomenal. So yeah. What do you guys think of Mr. Miracle? Any thoughts? I know Seamus has thoughts, so you can just get right into it.
For me, I think it's cool that a couple of characters like Mr. Miracle and Big Mora are getting a chance to shine when they usually don't appear in too much. I read the Tom King run. It's been so long I couldn't tell you what happened in that story, but I remember liking it at the time. So we'll see how it ends up.
Mm-hmm. Seamus, what do you think, bro?
Do you want to ask me about this?
Yes, I want to ask you, Seamus.
Man, this is okay. I don't understand why you would adapt the crazy weird deconstruction of a character rather than the character's origin itself. Because if this is people's first introduction to Mr. Miracle, they're gonna be like, oh wow, this guy's depressing. When he's he's not normally like this. You know what I mean? He's not normally willingly allowing himself to be trapped in a fake reality, so he doesn't have to actually face the truth of his wife might be dead or not. You know what I mean? No, that whole run, and I think it's the indicative of Tom King's other Elseworlds is that he changes a lot about the characters to fit the story, which I'm fine with in Elseworlds, but when this is your first adaptation of a character, maybe just do the character's origin, or just let's start from square one and not do the crazy we're Inception 8 layers deep of is he in a dream or reality, and you're just what the fuck am I looking at, Yeah. And I don't know. It's a great run. It is a good comic, but I don't know if I like it being the first Mr. Miracle thing I'm getting,
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I mean, for me, it's I've read the comic before. I mean, the comic's great. I know I particularly love Mitch Gerard's art. Love Mitch Gerard's art a lot. Yeah, the comic is kind of in its own it is an Elseworld, and the subject matter of the comic book is, obviously I'm looking at the article and it said it's gonna be more of an adult series, but I don't know, for a debut for Mr. Miracle, I want them to take some aspects of that run, but I want them to do maybe something a little different with it. Because again, that arc that comic was dark. It was because it deals with unaliving and all that stuff. So like I don't know if that's gonna be it. I don't know if I want that to be the first debut of like Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this is cool. Like after you've read like a couple of other Mr. Miracle appearances, and you're like, oh, cool. I was getting like the funny, like cool escape character, and now I'm getting like maybe a different side or a different interpretation of that. But when you're starting out, you're like, oh no, like this is gonna forever change the perception of the character because people don't read comics anymore. Mm-hmm. So like when you're getting this dark adaptation first, people are just gonna inherently think, oh, that's who Mr. Miracle is, instead of like doing like a proper adaptation and then going, oh, and here's also another way to look at it, you know? So that's why I'm just like, oh, this is gonna like be annoying for me to talk about Mr. Miracle forever because people are going to inherently assume he constantly wants to die. He doesn't really care about his wife. You know what I mean? And you're like, no. That's just the arc where he deals with his depression. Like, that's not how he constantly feels. He's supposed to be not thinking straight the whole, like, book, you know?
Right. I think it's also too early, though, to say if this is going to be, like, strictly a direct adaptation or if it's just taking elements from it, you know?
I mean, look, they got I understand that. I agree. But doing the fucking lines, those 3 lines, like the reality schism line thing from the book, it's like, oh, they're just 100% doing the book. You don't tease that shit, you know what I mean? And then go like, it's like, and you also already have Tom King working on like a lot of the DC Studios projects and shit. It's like, I think they're just gonna do it, and I'm gonna be a little mad. But I would hope that I'm wrong, and they're just taking some aspects, like you said, and it's actually going to be fun and good, and I'm going to be like, yay. And I get to be wrong, because I like being wrong here, because I always think of the worst thing.
I think worst case scenario that, at least for you, where it's direct adaptation, like for me, I'm not super knowledgeable about Mr. Miracle, like outside that run. I've seen him in like, I think he's in some of the other cartoons. I could be wrong about that.
I remember the first time I saw him was in like Brave and the Bold. I remember in Batman Brave and the Bold.
If you just treat it like a Flashpoint movie, though, where it's like just its own thing, it's like in a vacuum, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying. It's just like a little thing that's going to be annoying for me to try to be like, no, guys. He doesn't constantly want to kill himself. He constantly wants to live. That's why he's escaping, man.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, if this was more of if this was an Elseworlds take, like if it's gonna be like a DC Elseworlds thing, which it isn't, I would have been like, okay, doing this type of storyline, like I would give it more leniency for. But if it's gonna be in continuity, I'm like, I don't know if this is the great way to introduce Scott like this. And he's a great character. I really do like Mr. Miracle as a character a lot. So I mean, listen, obviously it's too early. I mean, there's no really an announce date for it. We're just announce that it's happening. So I mean, we'll probably talk about it more once we get more news and get more, maybe some footage and all that stuff. But if it's gonna be the art style for this, I kind of like the art style. It's a good art style. You know, it's solid. So yeah. But anything else you want to say before we move on to the next topic?
I'm good.
Nada. Alrighty, so next topic, people. This was actually breaking news today. I just quickly added this onto the topic list. But obviously, you know, in the Indian Core, we are fans of Matt Reeves. You know, aka the Matt Reeves Cloverfield. You know, Planet of the Apes franchise, all that stuff. Great director, and also obviously the Batman. And he obviously been waiting because it's been almost 3 years. Yeah, because it came out 2022. Was the Batman Part 1. We've been patiently waiting for the Batman Part 2, and plus, like, Reeves is known in the industry for being, like, really slow when it comes to writing his scripts. But as of today, as a post on social media, Matt Reeves has confirmed officially that him and Mattson Tomlin, who's the co-writer of the Batman Part 1 as well, along with him, has completed the script for the Batman Part 2. So it is done, and he's turned it in. So we'll see from there how it goes. And I mean, the thing is, I'm excited because I honestly think that the Batman Part 1 is my favorite Batman film. I love Pattinson as Batman. I love the world. I love the groundedness, the grittiness. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, when I'm just happy to know this film, like he's cooking. He submitted the script. Now we're just gonna see. We're gonna let it take off from there. But I'm very excited and just happy that he got it done. And I think he's there's also been rumors he's been having health issues and stuff. So like I'm just happy that he's got it done. He's was able to cook with the amount of time that he's given himself. So yeah, all right, we'll start that off. So what Rebecca, Seamus, what are your thoughts on Matt Rhys finishing the script for Batman Part 2?
I can't wait to see this movie in like 3 years.
True.
Yeah. I think it's actually 2.5. I think it's like October 2027 actually, but
yeah.
I'm glad he got it done. I think people need to shut the fuck up sometimes because there are so many people going like, I deserve an update, and it's like, dude,
no, you don't.
You fucking post on Instagram about movies, like shut the fuck up. You don't deserve an update. Like, it's just all these heads who are like so like presumptive and like to the point where James Gunn has to get on his fucking like red carpet interviews and look exacerbated that people are pestering him and Matt Reeves about it, and he has to constantly be like, guys, shut the fuck up. Matt Reeves is going through a lot. He'll get it done when he gets it done. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, if you're getting James Gunn that exacerbated, maybe like stop asking about it.
And kudos to James Gunn for like allowing him to cook and to take his time, because a lot of studios in Hollywood wouldn't give someone that that type of credit. So yeah, props to him for that. But yeah, it's also been annoying. Yeah, people are like, I need an update. Oh, I want to know what's going on. Like, listen, let him cook, and obviously he's going through personal stuff, so let him cook. We all know it's gonna be good, because
what 2022 to 2027, 5 years for a sequel. That's not exactly like insane.
Nah, not at all for a movie timeline.
I mean, like, I understand everyone's like brain broken from how many Marvel sequels we were getting for like the last like 10 years, but like in reality, like it's not exactly insane to be like, yeah, there's like 4 or 5 years between sequels. I mean, Dark Knight to Dark Knight Rises, that's 4 years. Like, and people weren't like going like, Christopher Nolan, I deserve an update 3 years in,
But yeah, I'm just I'm happy for him. And like, listen, I mean, I'm just happy we've at least gotten like the Penguin to like let us eat a little bit after the Batman. So like I can wait a little bit more until this movie comes out. So I'm just all I can do right now is just wait, theorize, wait for some footage and some updates, and that's pretty much it. So
pray for a Dave Bautista Hugo Strange casting announcement.
I mean, you know me, I'm praying for Mr. Freeze as the villain. Like that's me personally, Mr. Freeze. I think you said like off camera you said Giancarlo Esposito as Mr. Freeze. I think that'd be great. That'd probably be my go-to as well.
That'd be good.
Rebecca, who do you think is who would be your preferred villain for this movie that's not Barry Keoghan as Joker? Because I don't want to see this man in that movie.
Yeah, definitely not Joker. For that world, I think Hugo Strange would be a cool pick, just because we haven't seen him in a live action movie.
Last time we saw him was in Gotham. Was in the show Gotham, and B.D. Wong did a good job. I like B.D. Wong.
Does that count? Do any of the Gotham adaptations actually count, or is it just like
TV shows? I was trying to think if he was in Begins or not. I think that was just
no. He hasn't been in any movies at all. No. But yeah. What anyone you're thinking about like at all? Like who would be like your go-to pick for the villain for the movie?
Not really. I'd want it to be someone who's more like grounded, probably, just because that fits more with the tone of the last movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Ripa, like Hush, I think, because they teased him. Court of Owls, I don't really want to see. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I love that book, but like, I don't think it works outside of that book. Anytime they use the Court of Owls outside of the book, I'm like, oh, this is like very, very harshly diminishing returns on the whole concept, because you're just like, so Batman hasn't just like killed these guys yet, because like they're all immortal weird owl people. Like,
I feel like that's one of those arcs that works better for a TV than it does a movie.
Yeah, if you do that in a movie, it feels like you're like, oh, Batman dismantled this 1,000-year organization in like 5 minutes. Like, what they weren't really that threatening. Like, Alfred got in a fucking mech suit and started like just blasting half their heads off. Like, I'm not really too concerned, but yeah, I think the third movie definitely will have Hush as the villain, given how heavily that was like teased in the first one, and I was like, okay, All right,
Like-
we haven't seen Hush, but again, that's another villain that I'm like, I don't really know if that works outside of the arc it's in, because you know, Hush as an arc was like really cool, but like every time they try to use him again, you're just like, ooh, that doesn't work. That's not really doing anything.
My like dream ending for this movie though, for part 2, is like Selena like coming back, him and Bruce go on a date, and they go to like Haley's Circus, and then that's where we get introduced to like the Duke of the Graysons, and then they die like at the end. Like the Graysons die at the end, and then I would love, because I would love the ending to be like a quick setup for Dick Grayson. And then part 3 is like we're gonna get like a Batman and Robin. Like, I would love that for part 3.
And then they cancel Brave and the Bold as a movie, and they're just like, yeah, get in here, Robert Pattinson. You and David Cornstalk can do a Brave and the Bold movie. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kiss on screen. Yeah, I think that would be cool, especially if they just if Matt Reeves leans so heavily into a circus setup of it being like you think it's like a Joker setup. You know what I mean? Like he leans so heavily into like, ooh, Joker escaped Arkham and they're going to the circus. What do you think? And then at the and then like they pull the rug out from under you, and as like one of the acrobats is shot, and you're like, oh, it's Dick Grayson. There he is, crying over his parents.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be a really good setup, and like I don't know. I just want to see a 12-year-old Dick Grayson on live action beating the shit out of criminals. I think that'd be badass.
I want Dick Grayson. I want Batmite. I want fucking give me Matches Malone in a Batman.
Matches Malone would be cool. Matches Malone would be cool.
You know how hyped I was when he showed up in Absolute Batman, and I was like, he's a dude. He's an actual dude.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh man. But anyway, any more thoughts on this? Let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah, I'm good.
Nada. All right. I mean, well, speaking of Batman related stuff, so obviously, one of the things that was announced for the slate for James Gunn's DC Studios was the fact that they were also making a Clayface film, which I believe is not an Elseworlds, right? I think it's going to be in DC, a part of the DC, or no? I wasn't sure.
He hasn't said yet. I'm going to assume it's in continuity until he says otherwise. Until he's like, no, guys, this is its own thing. I think it is in continuity, I want to say.
Okay.
I would assume it's more or less its own thing until he shows up in something else.
Yeah, true. I my initial thought was like it was gonna be more of like a Matt Reeves like spin-off series, or project, but I digress. But yeah, until he says anything, we won't really know. But really last week they announced that they've just casted the actor who will be playing Clayface, and it's actually an unknown. His name is by the name of Rhys Harries is going to be playing I believe Basil Karlo, the OG Clayface. And so and this is actually the project that's going to be helmed by Mike Flanagan, who people don't know, who is known for Dr. Sleep, Haunting of Hill House, the amazing horror director. I'm a big fan of the guy in his movies, Oculus, like all that stuff. So guys,
Chuck.
Yes.
Chuck, shout out. You see that?
Chuck, shout out.
It's pretty solid. It was a little. I hate to say it was a little too sweet and nice for me. I got to the point where I was like, okay, guys, I get it. I love life too, but like, I think that you've gone a half hour over your limit of loving life. No, I love Mike Flanagan. I like the idea of a solo Clayface movie. Rhys Harries played a great racist who gets killed by his racist girlfriend in that one Doctor Who episode.
I've never heard of him at all. Like this is my first time.
He was. I mean, it's hard to tell how good of an actor someone is from like a 20-minute Doctor Who role. That's not exactly where you like flex your acting chops. But like, he seemed fine. I think if I implicitly have a lot of trust with James Gunn based off how he has casted in other roles in the past. So like, I'm going to assume he's good for the role if James Gunn signed off on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because you look at like the Guardians casting and you're like, wow, a lot of this is like really spot on for the characters he was writing. You know what I mean? So I hope it's good. I like Mike Flanagan. I like this casting. I like Clayface.
Yeah,
They never done him
no,
in a live action movie, which I get why, because kind of hard to do that and make it look well without like dropping a band or two. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited that it's its own thing, and James Gunn's greenlighting these weirder little Clayface solo movie. The shit that you would joke about, but like with the talent behind it, you're like, oh, that actually might be good.
Yeah, based on the talent, this feels like it's just going to be a horror movie that takes place in the DC universe.
Yeah, I'm really imagine like Mike Flanagan doing Clayface. I feel like the body horror is going to be like on point with this.
I heard that it's going to be like a body horror commentary on like the usage of like AI. That's what I heard. The script is like kind of about.
I'm not sure where I get the AI angle in that, but I guess we'll see.
I assume Clayface is going to be like impersonating other people or like dead actors and shit like that. And like the point is like he's like bringing back these dead actors through the use of like his clay powers or whatever, and he's like killing these actors and then bringing them back or shit. You know what I mean? So he can take their roles, kind of like that. And it's like using like generative AI to like bring back these dead actors in these movies after they've long passed and shit like that.
I see where you're going with that. I'm still not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah, right.
We'll
yeah, because that's only what I've heard. I don't know how true that is or not, but I was like, I think I see where they're going with that. That could be cool.
Yeah, actually, that's a really cool take on it. Actually, okay. Well, whatever the script is, I mean, Mike Flanagan, he knows how to cook, so I'm looking forward to see what he does. But any thoughts on this before we move on to the next topic? I have nothing else really to say. I'm just gonna wait to see what happens. Nada. Okay. All right. So next topic, people. Next topic. So this one I kind of added like while I was prepping like after I came back home from work, because this one is like it's for me and I guess Seamus too. I don't know about Rebecca. Like Rebecca might be like. This might be a topic Rebecca let me like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna fuck off here because
that's like half the stuff
Rebecca,
on this show.
Rebecca's gonna get up and just be like, fuck it.
But this one I'm very excited about because this was announced yesterday. Good thing is like with me from my childhood, I had three loves as a child, right? Like in terms of like me being a nerd and all that stuff. Two of my loves were given to me from my father. Shout out to Pops. But Spider-Man was one. Bruce Lee was the other. That's one thing. First thing my dad ever introduced me to, and then the second one was James Bond, 007. I'm a huge James Bond fan, and yesterday we got a huge announcement from Amazon MGM, because obviously like they released a short list of who they wanted any directors in mind they wanted to direct. James Bond. I know Christopher Nolan was on that list. Edgar Wright was on that list. I think Edgar Wright would have been a good job for James Bond, for me personally. But they decided to go with someone from Doom, from Dune fame, from Sicario fame, from Prisoners fame, and is none other than the director Denis Villeneuve is going to be directing the next James Bond film, and I am very excited because I think Denis Villeneuve is one of the best directors of like the decade. He's phenomenal. Like especially like right now in terms of like people actually actively go to watch their films. It's right now. It's been Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve. Like Dune Part 2 was incredible. It's, and I'm a huge fan of Prisoners. I'm a huge fan of Enemy. Like Enemy is a very underrated film with Jake Gyllenhaal. And so I'm very interested to see like especially his style, like his very wide scope cinematic style that he does with all of his films, whether they're small scale or large scale. It's very interesting the way he captures or the way he does his directing. I really enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to see how he interprets that with Bond. But I'll open that up to y'all. Seamus, we'll start with you, bro, because I feel like you'd have more to say What are your thoughts on Denis Villeneuve, man? I think you're as excited as me because I think you love Denis Villeneuve a lot more than I do. So
I'm weird about this. I will say I'm weird about this because I love Denis as a director. I love James Bond. I don't know how well these two are going to fit together because I think a lot of Denis' filmmaking is very it's very cold and it's very dark. And I think that those two things work when you're doing an adaptation like Dune or you're doing an adaptation like Blade Runner. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like cold and dark works. But with James Bond, we kind of just got an entire like group of movies that like were pretty cold and dark, with the run from like Skyfall through No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Those were very like cold and dark and like very brooding James Bond movies.
Yeah, and not as whimsical as like some of the previous.
Yeah, and I just don't see Denis I don't see him choosing to make something as kind of fun as Casino Royale. You know what I mean? Like and Casino Royale was already somewhat grounded of a Bond movie that was fun, but it was still like, pretty locked into being like a serious spy movie. And I am just, maybe it's just my own expectations, but I kind of expected them to go in a different like direction to Daniel Craig's Bond era, so that way they could differentiate it at least and get someone who might be more willing to go a little more whimsical or a little more like fantastical with it. But yeah, I like him. I'm not saying he's gonna make a bad movie. I'm just saying I don't know if this is the tone that's gonna get me excited to watch more James Bond movies if they're all going to be, because Daniel Craig was an outlier. He was like a more depressed Bond who like constantly didn't even really want to be there.
Yeah, his Bond was more. It was kind of more. I want to say like more empathetic. Like his was more vulnerable because we saw him as like he was like the broken Bond a lot, and that was his vibe. So
Denis would have been a great director for that. But I feel like if we're doing a new era, maybe let's not start with like the vibes of like the last era. You know what I mean? Or like, and from everything I've seen, he's only doing the first one for this Bond, which is like cool. That's fine. I'm sure that's gonna get people to like get excited and go see it. But like, I just don't know if it's like, okay, he's only doing the first one. He has a very specific vibe and look. Are you even gonna be able to like follow that up, like technically in the second one with a director who can match Denis Villeneuve, or are we just going to like have to accept that there's going to be a vibe shift and a slight step down in quality, So like, I don't know. It's very weird. I think it's less indicative of Denis being not good of a director and more indicative of Bond just being at a very weird place after Daniel Craig's era ended, and just them not knowing what the fuck to do with it.
I mean, for me, it's Rebecca, go ahead.
They haven't announced the actor for Bond yet, right?
Not yet.
The shortlist was
I have a feeling we'll find out soon, though. Like I feel like in a few weeks, maybe.
The shortlist I heard was like not good. Like it was like young British actors that I was like, ooh, I don't really care for a Jacob Elordi James Bond or like a Harris Dickinson James Bond at all.
Yeah. There was. I was looking at while I was at work on my break. I was looking at like a GQ Britain like had a whole list of like who they like they think like all the James Bond they could think of having. I know like Henry Cavill's on that list, Harry Dickinson was on that list, Damson Idris was on that list. That one was interesting. It was a lot, but yeah, we don't know. And honestly, yeah, I couldn't tell you who I think they choose, because they have a lot of options to go with. Some I think fit really well. I know Henry Cavill has been on the list for a while now.
I don't think Henry Cavill could do a good job.
I don't think so either.
God bless him, but like you know what? I didn't think Aaron Taylor Johnson could rip a good Bond.
He's on the list.
I didn't think so until I saw 28 Years Later a day or two ago, and I was like, hold on. If he gets a good script and a good director, he could actually like do a good job. Hold on. So
but he's been rumored for a while though. Like
That's what I'm saying. That movie, I was usually like, no, I don't see it. And then that movie, I was like, hold on, I could see it. I could see it in that one. But yeah, it's like I said, Bond's at just a very weird spot. They don't really know what they want to do with him next, and it kind of seems like because it kind of seems like the right path would be making a lighter, slightly more fun Bond, but it doesn't really feel like they want to do that because they feel like if they do that, then it kind of removes the air of prestige from like the Bond movies that the Daniel Craig movies built up, and it's like, I think you guys don't really know what you're doing over there, and you're kind of just going like back to the well for the 80th time for like the depressing Daniel Craig Bond to hope people will be like, yeah, this is what we like, instead of everyone going like, no, dude, we like Daniel Craig's Bond because it was different from the rest, but like I would personally like to go back to like a fun Bond like Pierce Brosnan or that type of vibe. You know what I mean?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, cause like me personally, Pierce Brosnan is my favorite Bond. So like The World Is Not Enough is like my favorite Bond movie of all time. So I like that little mix. Like, he was a little mix of everything. He was like he was serious. He could be serious. He could be a little more fun. He could be more adventurous. You know, like he was a good like mix of like a little bit of everything. It was a little bit of Roger Moore. It was a little bit of Sean Connery. It was a little bit of Timothy Dalton. He was a mix of a bunch of them. So so I kind of want something more like that. A little bit more like, yeah, we can still go a little dark on at times, but like I want that adventure back again from James Bond. For me personally.
Yeah, and I don't feel like. Like I said, I don't feel like Denis is really going to be able to rip it. That's all I say. I love him. God bless him. I love James Bond, but I don't really know if this is the right pairing to start off. So.
I mean, well, we'll see. I know one thing. I remember John Campion, shout out to John Campion, was saying that, like, and Rob was making a good point where he was saying Denis Villeneuve, like, we haven't really seen him. Sometimes he puts a little bit of, like, subtle dark humor into his, like, he can do, like, subtle humor, but, like, he's never really done, like, whimsical or like adventure-y like type of vibes before, so that's gonna be a little bit of a conflict, but we'll see. But I mean, I'm happy for him. I'm definitely gonna see it. I'm mostly now excited to see who's gonna be his Bond, who they decide to go with. But yeah. So I'm curious. Like, Shayba, do you have a pick? Like, who your go-to would be? Like, straight up,
I do think Aaron Taylor Johnson would be fun.
Okay.
If we're going for like a Pierce Brosnan type Bond, then yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson, 100%.
Okay. I feel that. I honestly can't.
As long as it's not like Jacob Elordi's fat ass jaw on my screen.
I don't think Jacob Elordi. I mean, I remember like I was on the Idris Elba as Bond train for years, but like now that can't happen because he's aged out of it. So like But yeah,
I do Unk Bond. I would like an Unk Bond.
I saw. That'd be dope. That'd be dope.
That'd be cool. If it was literally like, oh my god, they go super campy with it to the point where it's just basically like Idris Elba as Shaft as Bond.
Actually, you know what I'm thinking of now? Okay, hear me out.
You're thinking of Richard Roundtree as Bond?
Richard Roundtree, back from the grave, crazy. Because I'm seeing names like I'm seeing names like Henry Cavill. Let's see, Henry Cavill, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Theo James is on that list. Yeah, I know. I don't know if I can see it. Jack Loudon's on that list. Patrick Gibson, who's doing the game.
I think the issue, though, I feel like they just don't have. They can't find a British boy with sauce anymore. It's like they've all just become sauceless beings, and you're just like, well, the last British boy with sauce we had was like Ncuti Gatwa. He's Scottish.
Ncuti Gatwa, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's oh, he'd be cool Bond, but like he just left Doctor Who. I don't even know if he wants to do franchise stuff anymore after that debacle.
You want hear me out? I just thought of one. I was like, I could kind of see him as Bond. I want to see him give it a try. What about Jack O'Connell? As Bond?
Irish Bond.
Yeah.
Following up Pierce Brosnan's footsteps. Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan was Irish. Yeah. They'll definitely do an Irish Bond before they'll try to do an Australian Bond again.
I don't think Jack O'Connell's stock is high enough to be considered, but I do think that I could see if it was like if they were casting this like 5 or 6 years in the future. Yeah, But I think right now he's kind of just came. You know what I mean? Like he just got in Sinners and 28 Years Later as like oh, it's that guy. You know what I mean? So like I think in like a couple years he'll be a big enough name. But like right now, no. Which sucks.
Fair enough. I'll just throw it out there.
I wish they would go with like a more unknown name like that, or like someone who they're like, yo, we found this dude. He's got hella sauce, and he hasn't been shit yet. And you're like, yo.
If it wasn't an unknown, that would be crazy, and that would be a crazy announcement if it was an unknown actor. Like
fun and interesting. Like, oh, cool. This guy's gonna make his debut on like the biggest franchise in British history. Like, that'd be sick as fuck if they did that, but they won't because they're gonna be like, wow, look.
That's true. But all right. So I think we're good. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to a degree, but again, we just gotta see. I do think they're gonna announce the new James Bond probably like in the next like few weeks or like maybe like in the next like few months. We'll see. We'll see who they cast. But all right. So next topic. Now going back to some Marvel stuff. But yeah. So Spider-Man Brand New Day. Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's the next Spider-Man film that's coming out after Doomsday and before Secret Wars. Obviously, Tom Holland is coming back to be Spider-Man again. And then now they just announced again a little over a week ago what another Marvel character that's going to be joining him as a supporting character, as a supporting character in a cameo kind of role. But yeah, it's other than John Bernthal as the Punisher is going to be reprising his role as a Punisher and appearing in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And off rip, I wasn't really excited for this, to be honest with you, bro. You know who I wanted. You know who I wanted. What do you mean
you're not excited for this?
I wasn't. I mean, I'm not. Listen, like the Punisher, love John Bernthal as Punisher. I do think it's a cool dynamic to have, a cold-blooded killer be with this little teddy bear. You know what I mean? But like.
This is where he first showed up in Spider-Man. What are you talking about?
I know. I understand. But like I honestly thought like if for Brand New Day, if they were gonna do like a mentor type deal, I was expecting like Daredevil, like that writes itself. Like that makes more sense.
He's gonna be a mentor. I don't think he's gonna be more than like a 10-minute cameo at best.
Yeah. I think they're doing. Here's what I think. I've heard so many rumors about this movie at this point that I think that at this point they're going to be doing like a Spider-Man set in like a New York City type battle world where there's going to be the regular characters that you would normally see in a populated New York City in like a regular Marvel comic, but like they're all going to be somewhat like slight variants of each other, and it's going to be like Peter Spider-Man just trying to like continue living under like this weird battle world New York City that he's like, oh, because I've heard that they're like, oh, Savage Hulk's gonna be in this movie, the villains are gonna be like these 8 different fucking villains that I'm hearing, and I'm like, it kind of just sounds like you're throwing a bunch of people that don't really relate to each other together, and the only time I've ever seen that is Battle World. So like, because like, why the fuck else is Spider-Man gonna be fighting Viper and Silver Samurai? Like, there's no logic behind that. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, was that actually one of the rumors that he's gonna fight Viper and Silver Samurai?
Yes, for like the last month, they've been like, yeah, the villains are like Viper and Silver Samurai, and like shit, and that's why they thought the Asian person they were trying to cast was Mr. Negative, and they're like, no, it's actually Silver Samurai now, and I'm like, I love Silver Samurai, but like, what the fuck?
Mr. Negative would be
and that's why I think it's gonna be like Battle World, where he's gonna be fighting like these other villains and shit.
Like, I really I'm not looking forward to this movie because I already know it's gonna just be like another multiverse clusterfuck when I just wanted another grounded grassroots Spider-Man film. Like that's what everybody wanted.
Here's the thing. Here's what I think. I think it is going to be a grounded Spider-Man film that is Spider-Man going like, what the fuck are we doing with like the multiverse? And I think it is going to be like kind of a meta joke where like, because it takes place in between Doomsday and Secret War. So obviously it's going to be after Doom fucking cleans up at the end of Doomsday. You know what I mean? And it probably will take place in a battle world. And I assume it's going to be Spider-Man kind of like waking up in New York and trying to like continue his life while also dealing with all this bullshit and going, what the fuck is going on, man? I don't know half the shit that's happening. I'm trying to keep all these people safe, and like we got a Punisher running around. We got Savage Hulk. I got this fucking this samurai who's entirely encased in metal. What the fuck, you know? And I think it's gonna be something like that, where it's gonna be Peter going like, I don't know what the fuck is even happening anymore. I thought like I was going to like, you know, I was rebuilding my life back up again after I got like my whole entire existence erased, and then now the whole world gets erased, and now I'm like, you know, and you can do that. Peter's the only one who remembers how the world used to be. He's the only one, you know what I mean? And now it's like the flip of the memory wipe thing from the end of No Way Home, where everyone forgot Peter, but now Peter remembers everyone else, you know?
Okay.
They could do something like that. John Bernthal alone, he's fun as Punisher. Like, I mean, even if he shows up for like an extended period of time, I'm gonna be like, this is fun. He's gonna be bitching at Spider-Man for like stopping criminals, and Spider-Man's gonna like he's gonna think Punisher's like, oh, Punisher might be on my side, and then Punisher's gonna kill a criminal, and Peter's gonna like just haul off on him and just like beat the shit out of him. Yeah. You know, and it's gonna be fun, like 10-minute scene where you're like, oh, that's cool, I like that, and then we just move on to like Silver Samurai.
It just sounds wonky, bro. I'm just like, I don't know if I want this.
Listen, but I like Destin Daniel Cretton on Shang-Chi.
Yeah, no, he's gonna do a good job. I know he's gonna do a good job.
It's just where the I think it's less his or anyone working on the movie's fault, and more the fact that I don't think anyone at Marvel knows what's going on past Doomsday. Because Doomsday, they kind of got the old guard in to kind of be able to like just take hold of it and do whatever they want, but then everyone else was not informed what the fuck's going on. So it's all these people going like, I don't know, like I think I heard it was going to be on Battleworld, so like I guess we could do whatever we want, but I assume Kevin Feige's going to run in and yell at you if you use the wrong character. So it's kind of like them going like, I don't think anyone's going to be using Viper's Silver Samurai, so like I guess, you know.
Yeah, I think
it's
too,
a weird spot.
Deadpool and Wolverine, and also the last Spider-Man movie, both being multiverse and doing so well, they're probably going to want to do that again. So, especially being between the two event movies, there's going to be some sort of multiverse shenanigans in it.
Yeah, it's going to be like something like that. Or like, you know, which like. I mean, they're going to kill the entire franchise by cashing out so hard on the multiverse stuff when people are like, hey, could you at least make it something of substance? You know what I mean? Could you at least try to say something with the multiverse instead of just like using it as like a cameo dead horse that you can just beat whenever you need money? Because like that horse is you're gonna beat that horse one time and your hand's gonna go right into it and you're gonna be like, and then everyone's gonna run away from you because they're gonna be like, I'm sick of this shit, that looked gross. And it's gonna be, they're gonna bring back some like dead actor, and you're gonna be like, oh, don't do the Christopher Reeve bit from The Flash. That killed that entire universe.
I knew you were gonna go into that. I knew you were gonna go into it. Oh man,
I hate that movie, Mikey. You know I fucking hate that movie.
I know you do.
I felt ill watching that movie, and I feel like the same thing's gonna happen when I'm watching this movie. But I hope I'm wrong.
I don't know. I think even if it's not like great, it'll still be fun. I feel like that's been the theme with the other Spider-Man movies up to this point.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, I like John Bernthal's Punisher. I mean, I understand he's appeared in Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to seeing them interact with each other. But I'm just like, I don't know what's going on with this movie. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on. Like, I mean, and again, I'm a little upset. I'm a little butthurt because like I would love Daredevil and Spider-Man. That just makes more sense to me. But you know.
The MCU feels like watching your little brother do like the same trick like 3 times in a row, and he keeps showing you, and you're like, all right, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I saw you do the jump. You know what I mean? It's him like jumping off something. And you're just like, yeah, okay. And like now at the point you're like respectfully watching, but like in your head you're like, man, I'm gonna walk away if he asks me to watch this shit one more time.
Yeah, no, right?
Like after Secret War, if he's still trying to get me to see multiverse shit, or like he's giving me like weak ass X-Men adaptations, I'm gonna be like, all right, man, I saw you do the jump. I'm good. I'm gonna go do something else. I'm gonna go watch Swamp Thing.
Oh, true. But rip your Swamp Thing. But yeah, so overall, I think I'm good. We're just gonna pretty much see what happens with this movie.
Hey,
yeah,
LeBron, Ben Simmons is here. We're good.
but any more thoughts before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah.
Nada? All right. So moving on to, a little break from Marvel right now. So obviously, you know, we on the channel we're Transformers fans up in here. I mean, obviously we did a whole podcast, you know, breaking down IDW Transformers. Shout out to Rebecca for letting us do that because that was fun. And obviously, you know, Robert Kirkman, you know, Skybound with Image Comics that he revived the Transformers comics. They rebooted them, and I've been reading. I think most of us have been reading them for ever since they came out. But there was news yesterday that because now they're almost at issue 24. So right after issue 24, the creative team, which is mostly composed of Daniel Warren Johnson, who was writing and drawing at first, and then he just went from being just the writer to now Jorge Corona doing the artwork, which again, he's Jorge Corona, has been doing a good job artwork wise. I think he's been killed with Mike Spicer on the colors. But now there's a little bit of a change. So on issue 25 of Transformers, the creative team will shift to Robert Kirkman writing with art by Dan Mora. And immediately to myself, I didn't even think of Kirkman. I was like, Dan Mora on Transformers is gonna be fucking sick. He's an amazing artist. I know. Seamus has been Seamus was glazing as much as he's been glazing how much he glazed Tom King last year. So I mean, you know, it's that I knew, especially looking from this preview page that they dropped. I was like, yeah, nah, this is gonna be sick. But yeah, Kirkman writing, that's cool. That's cool. I know it's gonna be like decent, and plus he's a fan of Transformers, which is why he wanted, you know, he wanted Skybound to acquire the IP for the comics. So, I mean, we'll see where it goes. But again, I can't really say much because I'm behind on the comics. I'm like maybe a couple issues behind right now, so I just gotta catch up. But Rebecca, we'll go with you first as the Transformers girl. We'll get your opinion first. What do you think of this creative team change for Transformers so far?
I hate to say it, but I do feel like change is needed. Like when the comic first started with Skybound, I thought it was really good. I liked the direction they were going, and it feels like since then they've just lost steam. Like it doesn't really feel like the plot is progressing as quickly as it needs to. Like characters are just kind of meandering throughout the issues. So I think there is potential there, but I'm ready to kind of see someone else's take on it, or at least someone else moving stuff along. I'm not sure how I feel about Kirkman doing it. He is a good writer. You're obviously a big fan of Invincible. I'm a big fan of Walking Dead, so I think he can write. I'm just not sure what his interpretation of Transformers, how much is going to be different from what was started already.
Okay. Seamus, what do you think, bro?
I like Dan Mora. I think Kirkman is very I think at Kirkman's worst it's gonna be like fine, you know what I mean, but I think that I don't know, he, like you said, he's a fan. I already think him being so locked in on Transformers makes me want to believe that he has like a really good direction to take it in. It really is like an I don't know answer to be like I don't know, but like I really don't know where he's gonna go with it. I don't know what type of vibe he's gonna be doing for it, but I do know that Dan Mora's art's gonna look fucking sick. Like I mean like that page that he released, I was like, that Optimus looks really cool, man.
It looks very G. I mean obviously like the whole style right now is like for Transformers it's like G1, but this looks like really fucking G1. I love it. So yeah, I'm excited. It's at least something new. Like Rebecca was saying, I felt the same way. I felt like I liked it, but I also was like, it felt. You know what it felt like, Mikey? Is it started feeling like the first like 9 or 10 issues of like Ultimate Black Panther. You were like, yeah. you were like, I like it, but like we are kind of just like moseying a little bit, and I kind of want us to be at least a little bit of a jog, you know? Yeah, and to your point, ever since Brian Hill was like, okay, at this issue, things are gonna pick up. It has started picking up a little bit, and I've been reading it. So, yeah, I feel that. I mean, and that's the thing with me too. Like, the reason why I'm behind, well, mostly because I'm like, schedule wise, but and also I felt like a way where the arc that they've been doing so far, the past like several issues, I haven't really been feeling. So like, it's just been. Yeah, the hype at first it was good, it was great, and then like it just the hype kind of slowly started withering away. So hopefully, who knows? Maybe when each 25 comes out, which I don't remember. I don't know when it's coming out. I didn't get the date on that. But when it does come out, hopefully, who knows? Maybe it could be that the pick me up that we needed. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much all I gotta say. And plus, that art's it's gonna be chef's kiss. It's gonna be beautiful. All right. So I guess like thumbs up, thumbs down. I guess it's like I guess it's kind of like middle for us. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say it's middle right now. I'm hoping he can breathe some new life into that book. But at the very least, we'll have cool art to look at.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, the last Robert Kirkman thing I read, I did not read Battle Beast yet. The last one I read was Firepower, and I thought that book was great. So, like, so I mean, he can write. We all know that. So we'll just see what he does with Transformers going forward. All right, so I guess that's pretty much it. So we'll just move on to the next topic here. Some more comic book wise. I'll stay on comics right now. So obviously the big thing comic wise that people fucking lost their fucking minds over, because obviously I remember what was it last year 2 years ago, it was last year, Marvel and DC did a collaboration where they dropped their Marvel versus DC compendium, which were reprints of the Marvel versus DC crossovers in the in the 80s, late 80s, 90s. And those were a big success. So they've been and there was a piece of artwork that Jim Lee dropped in 2 years prior, a year prior to that, where he made a really dope page of just all the amalgam characters from back in the 80s. So they've been kind of teasing a little bit of a crossover, a resurgence of a Marvel DC crossover. And to our surprise, they announced a little over a week or two ago that they are going to be doing a Marvel DC crossover, but in the form of a one-shot. And the first two characters decided to debut are none other than Batman and Deadpool. So yeah, people, Batman, Deadpool is going to be getting a crossover, an official crossover from both Marvel and DC. And I think it's cool. Again, when I saw this, I was like, huh. If I were doing a Marvel DC crossover, I don't think I would really want, Batman to be paired with Deadpool. But I thought there would be other characters you could choose from. But listen, I'm gonna check it out. I know Seamus, remind me of the creative team on it, because I know Greg Capullo's drawing it. I think Grant Morrison's on it.
Yeah, Grant Morrison and Greg Capullo, and then Zeb Wells and what was it? Is it Dan Mora on this too? Or is it?
I think no. Jorge Jimenez.
No. Oh yeah. I think it is. I think it is Jimenez. I'm looking it up right now. Zeb Wells and Greg Capullo, and then is at least for the because it's a one shot, but it's I don't know. Yeah, they're doing two. I guess they're doing 2 issues for each one. So one is
one's written on the Marvel side, one's written on the DC side.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it's, which is interesting that they're doing it that way. Which it also makes sense though why they had so many of those backups announced, because I was like, yo, one issue.
We'll talk about the backups in a second, but real quick, we got a comment. Shout out to Mr. Brooks. I missed his comment earlier. I'm sorry, bro, but he was peeping. He was peeping earlier. Shout out to my boy K. Sean Henry, bro. All that is chaotic. He was like, I personally have Batman fatigue. Yeah. Again, that's kind of been a problem.
Yeah,
with me
it is.
I don't hear I have Batman fatigue after we were just glazing the second Batman movie.
That's true.
I don't at all. I could never have Batman fatigue. I only have Batman fatigue when it's when they start doing annoying shit with Batman, and I'm like, knock it off. Yeah, I just looked it up. The Marvel issue is Zeb Wells writing, Greg Capullo on art, and then the DC one is Grant Morrison writing, Dan Mora on art. So,
and real quick,
that DC issue sounds way more interesting than the Marvel one.
True. And
listen. I get you're throwing Zeb Wells a bone because he wrote Deadpool and Wolverine, but you cannot be putting his name on shit.
Nah.
not even like indicative of his writing ability for writing Deadpool. It's just everyone hates his Spider-Man so much that you can't, like, people are just gonna hate this just because they see his name on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like people are gonna be looking forward to like Grant Morrison than Zeb Wells for sure. I like the way
no shit. Like people are gonna look
again,
at
I didn't read Amazing Spider-Man, but like me even seeing Zeb Wells' name on as a part of the creative team for this book, I was like, let the bad taste in my mouth.
I'm not too worried about that for what's effectively a Deadpool issue because it's got DC and Marvel's logo on it. People are gonna read it just because how often do we get one of those, you know?
Yeah, word. Also, just real quick, this side tangent.
Grant writing Deadpool, like
that's interesting.
What? How do they get them to do that? Like,
I would have loved, and this would never ever happen if this was a Deadpool Doom Patrol crossover.
Right? Like that would be like, oh, hold on, because like that's at least like they vibe a little bit, and you're like, oh, Grant Morrison can write that, but like Grant Morrison having to balance Batman and Deadpool, it's just like, whoa, I don't know how they're gonna be able to pull that off. They are, but you know.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just real quick, just random tangent. So Seamus, my boy, all that is chaotic, Kayshawn, he's famous. Yeah. Well, I think you've seen his stuff before. He's an artist, and remember Nightwing the series, which we've talked about. We're fans of that Nightwing the series.
Yeah.
He drew the intro card to the series.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's how I know him. That's my boy. Overall, I mean, with the whole Batman Deadpool, I mean, looking forward to see the story. Well, at least the Grant Morrison side of the story. I know the art's gonna be sick because it's Greg Capullo. That's gonna be dope, and Jorge Jimenez. So we'll see. But yeah. So obviously we'll talk about the backups real quick. Because I have a separate slide for that. But yeah, the backups. Even though I put two of them, but I forgot there was another one. I forgot there was another one.
You forgot about like. How the fuck do you forget about Captain America and Wonder Woman?
Yeah, no, I forgot.
I just forgot about the one starring the female character. I just happened to forget that one.
Yet another instance of Mikey's misogyny.
No, I'm not misogynist.
Listen, it's internalized. It's not his fault.
well, we can talk about it real quick. But yeah, the Captain America and Wonder Woman.
Oh, we're allowed to talk about women now.
He didn't even put it on the slide.
Oh my gosh, guys! Like, stop!
Stop erasing us.
I'm not. But yeah, Captain America and Wonder Woman, which is gonna be written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Terry Dodson. Terry Dodson's a dope artist. Daredevil and Green Arrow, which was the one I was like, this is what I'm for. These are my two of my favorite characters. Written by Kevin Smith and Andy Kubert, and then Jeff the Land Shark and Crypto, which is written by Kelly Thompson with art by Giro Hero. And yeah, so those three.
That Chichetto cover
is beautiful, dude.
Oh,
that's the thing. And that's the thing too. Like I didn't realize that, like, yeah, when I was looking at the article, I was like, oh yeah, Chip Zdarsky is doing the Wonder Woman. I just assumed that like he was just gonna be the one doing the Daredevil one, just because like obviously like we glazed Chip Zdarsky Daredevil.
He's doing the other one because he's on Captain America by September. That's when his new cap drops, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. And real quick comment to say, yeah, he's like, LMFAO, I'm not famous, but I love you for that. Though, listen, bro, you're famous to me. You're famous to us.
Do you think? Here, I was gonna ask. Do you think the Jeff and Crypto one is gonna be fun? Kelly Thompson's fun. Kelly Thompson's great, and that art is just Jeff is like fun as fuck. I read it. I like it. I was gonna say, do you think Chip Zdarsky is going to do you think he's going to lean in to Wonder Woman meeting a blonde dude named Steve, or do you think he's going to just completely be like, yeah, the joke is that she just was like, you look familiar, I don't know, you remind me of someone, and then, you know what I mean, or is he gonna go full into like, Steve?
I don't know.
I feel like you gotta go the subtle approach. It's too much of a running. I was gonna say,
because I was like, I feel like Chip Zdarsky is a good writer, and I think he knows how to like do that well and not just be, you know.
In case like K was like, I was just thinking that. Like, it didn't hit me either until you said. I was like, yeah, it'd be hilarious if they played into that as like a joke. That'd be kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. That was interesting. She just mistakes him as I
think it would be cooler if it's like not really mentioned. Honestly, I feel like it is a little too obvious, and it's like I don't really know what you do with that after the initial joke about it. But like, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I think Chip Zdarsky is a good writer, and I think he knows how to like handle that in a way that's like going to be solid and not weird.
What I like about these backup pairings is they all feel very natural. Like, the obvious choice for Green Arrow would be to pair him with Hawkeye. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
But I like that they put him with Daredevil, like 2 street-level heroes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for me, it's like...
2 Kevin Smith generational runs. It's like his 2 best comics he's written.
True, yeah. That's the thing that got me excited the most for when this was announced. So, yeah, because I'm a huge fan of his Daredevil, and I also really do love his Green Arrow a lot. And me personally, I always equate, like, you know, when people always say like, oh, like Lucid, like, oh, Moon Knight is Marvel's Batman, but no, I always equate, like, you know, Daredevil as kind of like Marvel's Batman in a way. And Green Arrow was like a Batman ripoff, so like when he was created. So I kind of like how like that's connection I make with their pairing. I think it's kind of funny. But yeah, no, I'm just very curious. I'm very excited to see what Kevin Smith's gonna do with them. Like, I'm very curious on their interactions with each other. Because again, they do have some similarities, you know, in some ways. So I'm very curious to see what he does. I know. What's his name? The artist is gonna, or Adam Kubert's gonna do a great job. He's gonna
dude.
Oh man,
crazy thought that a Kubert is gonna do good art.
Right. That's like, yeah, that's like someone saying that like a Pop-Tart is gonna end up shitty when you eat it. No, Pop-Tarts are always delicious.
Dude, I'm dreading that Mark Millar Fantastic Four Superman issue announcement. I'm dreading that. That's gonna be like
They didn't announce that, did they? No,
they haven't yet, but he's been teasing it, and I'm like, yo, dude, I am going to kill myself live on this podcast when that gets announced. The only way they could say that is by having like 4 of the coolest backups in that crossover of all time, or at least having the other issue be like, it's art by like Jorge Jimenez and written by like Ryan North, and then I'd be like, hold on.
One thing I will say that kind of bothers me though is like I kind of a little disappointed that these are just backups in a Daredevil Batman one shot. Like I want these to be like their own separate one shots, you know.
I'll take what I can get at this point.
I don't know why they wouldn't, but like I'm also not gonna be too mad because I'm still getting it, and I'm still gonna be like, But and they're giving me full covers because this is exactly what they said. What Sal said was gonna happen is gonna happen. They're giving each of these fucking stories their own covers, so they're gonna release like an art book with all the issue covers, and you know what I mean. And they're gonna make so much bank off this that it's like. Yeah, like I would prefer you put that money towards like, let's actually give these full issues, but like, you know, whatever. Like,
yeah, that just makes the most sense to me. But I mean, from a business perspective, I understand.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's going to be like 4 or 5 actual issue crossovers, and then there's going to be a bunch of little backup stories. You know what I mean? Like the big ones are going to be like, you know. Like Deadpool, Batman, Fantastic Four, Superman, like fucking like Spider-Man, Nightwing, or some shit like that, and they're just gonna package those together as the big ones that sell, and then like the little ones that you're not gonna hear about are like the backups. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like me personally, because I know for a fact I'm buying this Daredevil, Mark DiChetto Daredevil and Green Arrow cover, but I just want the Daredevil Green Arrow logo on the cover. Like it's gonna
yeah. At least
bother the crap out of
you're gonna fucking come on.
Like commit. God damn it. But I digress.
What's a I know we've talked about this before, but now that's a little more real and you've had more time to think. What is one of the crossovers you would like to see? One is like an issue, and one is like what's a backup crossover you'd like to see?
I mean, for me, I personally would love a Moon Knight in Question crossover. That would be my That'd be my. You had 2 paranoid motherfuckers in the book. That'd be sick as hell.
Yeah.
That's the one I could think offhand. Why? What's one that you got? Thank you, Kay. Thank you. You see, listen, we're like this. He gets it. So
yeah, well, Seamus thinks. I think this would have to be more of a backup than like a full thing. I think Scarlet Witch and Zatanna would be a lot of fun, or like
that would be cool.
Or the mystic side of both of them, since we haven't seen a lot of crossover there.
That'd be really interesting. I would like that. That'd be kind of cool.
I think the more like full issue, I think it would be fun for team crossovers, maybe like Champions and Teen Titans.
That'd be cool. I was thinking like, nah, they're not doing Young Avengers right now. So that Champions, Teen Titans, we'll do that. Yeah, Marvel DC crossover. I'm like trying to see if anyone like online has said whatever ideas that they have. Let's see, because
you probably have 40 years of comments to go through for all those ideas.
I know. What's a Marvel thing? Is like I would love the Birds of Prey to cross over with like a Marvel female team.
I was gonna say,
yeah, but they don't really have
I think my backup story would be I would do Miss Marvel and Cassandra Cain.
Oh, okay.
I think is my backup.
Why Cassandra Cain?
I just think that would be fun because I think that you have 2 different young superhero characters who are almost in like complete opposite areas. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because Miss Marvel started out and she was like pretty like universally accepted and everything, and Cassandra Cain not as universally accepted, but slowly grew into someone that people fuck with now. And I think just like both their characters and their like metatextual kind of situations, I think would be very interesting to at least write like a little like fun meeting about. You know what I mean? I think that would be cool.
I'm looking on,
especially because like if they just do the bit where Cassandra Cain's still mute and it's just Miss Marvel yapping the entire time and Cassandra Cain sitting there, and then it's just a thought bubble at the end where Cassandra Cain's like, "This girl's very nice. I like her." You know.
I'm looking on Reddit real quick just to see any ideas. I mean, someone said Jeff the Land Shark and King Shark would be one. Someone said Constantine and Doctor Strange, and then someone added to that was like Doctor Doom and Constantine as a crossover.
Doom and Constantine is so much better than Doctor Strange and Constantine. Holy shit. Doom and Constantine's like, holy shit, that's money right there.
I feel like you gotta go like one step away from the obvious pick, you know?
That's true.
And then you gotta pick the obvious one, and then you have to change one to like a really fucking weird, like, oh shit, wait, I could do that?
This one I thought was gold. I was like, so Hawkeye and Guy Gardner. I think that'd be hilarious,
dude.
That'd be so funny.
You know what would be a fun one? She-Hulk and Black Canary.
Yes.
Ooh, that'd be
sick.
She-Hulk and Black Canary would be so good. It's like a.
Oh, here's another list. Oh yeah, someone said Cassandra Cain and Kamala Khan. So that one.
Yeah, is on there. Yeah. See, that'd be fun. I think that'd be lit.
Someone said Tim Drake and Kid Loki.
What the fuck are we doing, man? Kid Loki, get out of here.
I don't know, man. Miles Morales and Damian Wayne, John Kent, and Billy Maximoff.
All right, no. Mikey, 3 more. We got to move on from this before we spend the next hour just listing characters.
Kay was always saying Static and Miles. I mean, yeah, that's duh. Like that would be dope.
They would never do that. They would never do that. They would never put 2 black characters in a book. They'd be like, no, it can't sell. Even though it would sell so hard. It would probably be, honestly, if they did that, that book would sell like way more than anything else, and they'd be shocked. They'd be like, "What do you mean Static and Miles together is selling more than Batman, Deadpool?" And it's like, yeah, dude, like everyone loves those characters. Like you just don't want to market them.
But yeah, all right. So we'll move on to the next topic. So the next topic now we're gonna go to a movie announcement. So a little over last week again.
Real quick. Jean Grey and Supergirl. Jean Grey and Supergirl.
That's cool.
All right, that's my issue. My backup would be. All right, okay. There you go. I just thought of it because I was like, oh, I need one. Fuck.
Man, I like that. I think that's also cool. That's a cool idea. Mm-hmm. Now just go on to movies. So obviously, MCU, little bit of a mess right now, but we all know that the direction after Secret Wars is gonna be X-Men. Like they know that's one of the first big things that they're doing is X-Men, and so they just announced that they found the director to direct the X-Men film, and that's gonna be none other than Jack Schreier, who just did the Thunderbolts film that dropped, and we did our review for Thunderbolts. We thought it was a surprisingly good movie. And obviously Jack Schreier is known for doing I think The Bear. He did Beef on Netflix as well. So good writer and director. So yeah, what are y'all thoughts on Jack Schreier being directing X-Men? My first thoughts was, so you couldn't find anybody like there was no one that you could figure out. No disrespect to Jack Schreier. He's talented, but I felt like
Jack Schreier's solid, but the issue is I know we just bitched. I know I just bitched about it a little bit, but at least James Bond had the right idea of being let's get Denis in here as a big name to get people at least excited about this movie, just conceptually. Whereas Jake Schreier, it's listen, man, I like Thunderbolts. This would have been cool, in 2015, if they said, hey, the guy who directed that's directing this. But at this point, I think things are so dire. You kind of need a Hail Mary director that you just let them do whatever they want with, throwing it. You know what I mean? I think at this point, you just need to be all right, fucking, we will pay. A fucking anyone who's a solid director to direct the shit out of this however they want and just do whatever they want with it, so that way we can get people back in and excited about it. Because how did the X-Men get popular, Mikey? By giving one creative dude full range to do whatever he wanted and letting him make the best X-Men run and one of the best comic runs of all time. It almost seems like if they just did that with the movies, they could just bring back the MCU, but they won't. They're not gonna. So I like him, no disrespect, but this isn't exciting to me, really.
Mm-hmm. Rebecca?
I think this is a fine choice. I liked Thunderbolts enough. I thought it was pretty solid. I think he could handle an ensemble well. I just would want to see something a little visually different, so I'm hoping he does change it up from what we saw in Thunderbolts. That's not as not that Thunderbolts was particularly gritty, but less gray, I guess. Yeah. But I think it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need a non-straight director, or at least a director who's freaky. Chris Claremont, when he was writing X-Men, he was a freak. That was a freak who looked like a normal dude, and I think we need that similar energy brought, at least filmmaking wise, to X-Men, because they're freaks. That's the you think the draws the powers and oh, they're all family, and then you read it and you're like, oh, this fucking what?
Yep.
And I think that's the energy they kind of need to bring to the fucking at least differentiate.
What's their name who directed? I saw the TV go.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That would be lit. That would be so lit. But they would never do that because they're no, a trans woman directing the X-Men. What's next?
No.
A black guy directing the Miles movie? What does this world come to? You know what I mean? It's because they're all idiots up there who just run Marvel, and it's fucking Kevin Feige's lost his sauce. He's going back to the Russos, who have just made the Electric State maybe the biggest bomb of all time, and he's yes, you guys will save our franchise, instead of going, hey, what if we let a non-white dude direct a Marvel movie for once? Oh, Blade? Oh, let's not do that. Let's not do that at all. Let's move on.
K Shaw got me crying. He's first thoughts, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
I'm crying.
He's good. He's solid, but he's not a generational talent who's gonna put up numbers. You know what I mean? He's a solid role player that you're he can put out a good thing, but I don't know. It's just not exciting enough.
But he has a point though. He's he said after he did some research, he said he feels like he has potential, but it's ultimately going to come down to who's going to be writing the film.
don't even think it's ultimately going to come down to that, because I think you need such a distinct directive voice and vibe to make this seem different from the MCU that we've gotten. And using someone who has just come out of being in that MCU prior to Secret Wars is only going to make you feel like you're in the same exact fucking universe when you really want to be in something that's brand new. You know what I mean? And it's like, cool, I'm watching a movie that feels very stylistically similar to what I got before the big event that was promised to change everything. And it's like, that's just going to feel a little shitty, you know?
Yeah.
And you're going to feel a little like, I don't really, I am watching. It's going to remind you that you are watching the same universe when really you're just like, hey, I want to see something new that's way different, and then see that new different thing integrated into the main universe and how that interacts. Because that's always been like the draw of the X-Men, is that they're so different from the rest of the Marvel universe that when they start crossing over, it feels like a Marvel DC crossover, but it's in the same company. It's just they're so different, you know. And I don't think they're gonna do that, which is why I'm like, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I got nothing really much to say. I mean, we'll see where it goes. I mean, Schreier did a good job with Thunderbolt, so we'll see. I just hope this isn't like a desperate attempt, like, okay, we can't find someone, so we'll just get the guy who just did a good project for us to just direct X-Men.
I think that's 100% what it is, and
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be getting Marvel movies by like 2035. I think that I think in the next 10 years they're completely going to be done making them, and they're going to be like, hey guys, we can't really make these anymore. Or they're going to be doing like one every like 3 years, and it's going to be like a Spider-Man and then like a Wolverine, and that's it. And they're just going to be like, whoa, here you go.
Oh, okay, wait. K. Sean was saying is that we definitely need more writers similar to Ryan Coogler who actually take on a project and put so much care into it that it changes the franchise. Yep, I mean, you're right.
It's crazy too, because X-Men is like the most popular Marvel team they had for like literally like 30 straight years. And it's like, there are definitely good directors who are also fans of X-Men who would probably want to do a take on the X-Men, and they're excited to do it. But Marvel either doesn't want to pay them that much, or they don't want to let them have full creative control, and it's going to kill them because they don't want to let these directors actually direct movies. And Kevin Feige thinks he's like so locked into knowing what's right, even though in the last like 7 years he shit the bed so hard that it's soaking through the fucking floorboards. Like, man, pack it up. Learn when to quit. Like,
shittier than the poop cruise. Shittier than the poop cruise, bro. It's that bad.
And then you look at the difference between him and James Gunn, and James Gunn's like I'm focusing on letting these creatives like fully write the movie and do whatever they want, and then reading the script and determining if the script is good or not. And if the creative who wrote their own script doesn't have a good script, then I'll be like, hey, we can't do this movie. I don't think it's up to standard. And then we move on. And it's like, that's a great way to make movies, is going, hey man, I appreciate the attempt, but I don't really know if this is going to be that good. And then moving on, instead of going like, we'll just get a different director and we'll shoot without a script for a bit while you fix it. You know what I mean?
I mean, we got to move on, but Kay was saying, like, who would you put in the director spot? That's a whole podcast in itself. I can't think of it right now, bro. I'm sorry.
Off the top of my head, like Jane Schroenbund did a really good job on I Saw the TV Glow. I think that she would be able to get a really distinctive vibe of someone who is going through a physical and mental change that is a deep-seated part of them, but also something that is very new and confusing to them. Because she did a very great job with that trans allegory in I Saw the TV Glow, and I think that translated to an X-Men movie would be fucking like money, dude. It'd be money. But they would never do that because they're scared. And they also don't want to be like anything gay related or anything trans related, because they're like, well, we're a family company, and it's like, dude, fuck you.
But but they're also an allegory for the X-Men. Like that. Come on, like.
Yeah, dude, adapting the X-Men without making it a little gay, it's like, dude, you might as well start like cooking all of your dishes with no salt. Like, fuck off. I don't want it.
But yeah. So I mean, anything else anyone wants to say? So before we move on.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, so we'll just keep
LeBron, we're good.
LeBron, we're good. So next topic, we're gonna go into video games right quick. So just off rip. So Marvel said fuck you to Capcom straight up with this game Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. They literally said, Capcom, you fucked us with Infinite. Screw you. We're moving on to better developers. So
that wasn't even Capcom. That was Marvel who fucked Capcom with Infinite.
Oh,
It wasn't Capcom's fault.
Yeah, Marvel forced them to do all the MCU synergy stuff, and Capcom was like, "Yo, dude, we like the X-Men, like, and you're not letting us put the X-Men in here." And then Marvel was like, "No, you're putting them in there." And then they rushed the development, and then they released it, and it was kind of ass. And they were like, "So I here's the thing with this. I have a lot of thoughts on this.
And to let people know, it's being developed by the studio that did Fighter Z.
We like Arc System Works. We do love Arc System Works. We love our Guilty Gears. We love our Dragon Ball Fighters. We love our Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battles.
Yes, sir.
We love them here. I am very excited for this. Here's the thing. It's not like they can't do a Marvel vs. Capcom, because that's a completely different game. It is a similar style of game, and this game is heavily inspired by Marvel vs. Capcom, just because tag fighters in general, Marvel vs. Capcom, you don't get much better than that. MVC2 is still the best one out there, other than like MVC3 and maybe like, I don't know, like Dragon Ball Fighters. But this, when it was announced, I was shocked, because I was like, oh, they really, we do have to wait for another Marvel vs. Capcom. It is definitely coming now, but like, we are gonna have to wait a bit, like maybe like 2030 or something for it. But that's also the thing that I wanted to say, is that this looks different enough because they're letting Arc System Works do their own entire takes on characters. So it is definitely way more Japanese than Marvel vs. Capcom was. Because Marvel vs. Capcom was like, ripping characters from the pages and just putting them in the books, and it's like, no, these are like very Japanese adaptations of characters. Like you look at Captain America, and you're like, yo, you thought those MCU suit had a lot of lines on them. Just wait till you look at that shit. But it kind of works for the style.
And I'm liking it too. I'm liking ever since like with Rivals, like they're allowing these, like Japanese developers to like, make these characters their own, which again makes them more unique, makes them more distinct. Which I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Rivals did a similar thing where they were just like, hey, let's just pull like the coolest looks from all these characters' adaptations and put them in. And then they were like, oh, but Namor, we'll fuck Namor over really hard by making him look weird. And you're like, fuck, why is he like the one that looks weird and everyone else looks like they're like straight from like the show or the comic? But yeah, I like this roster already. It's already a very Marvel vs. Capcom roster by including Storm and Doom on there. I was like, Storm and Doom, that's how you know this game was developed by MVC players, because like I was talking to you about Max's like dream roster, and he was just putting all the MVC characters, and I'm like, I was like, dude, I love Max.
It's over.
Exactly. I love Max. I love him, but like, you can't put Sentinel on this roster because he's not going to play like he did in MVC2. Because he's fun to play in MVC2 and it's surprising. But like, who the fuck wants to play Sentinel in Tōkon Fighting Souls? I don't, man. Like, that roster could be used by someone who's cool. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm really interested in it. It looks really good from that little gameplay bit they showed. And
it is a 4v4 tag fighter, right? Like, that is confirmed, right?
Crazy.
It's crazy.
4v4 is a lot.
Like, I don't know. Well, I mean,
crazy at the tournament level. I said that in the group chat.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I would assume they're gonna like give you options to like choose how many fighters you want in a match, but like 4v4 is gonna be a lot to handle. Like, I don't know how that's gonna work.
I'm excited. I'm excited because I think Arc System Works really nailed 3v3 with Dragon Ball Fighters, and I think trying to take a branch out and go like, let's try 4v4 for this game, for a game where you do want as many people as possible on screen because it is like superheroes fighting each other. Like, yeah, it's probably going to be really cool. I like the starting roster. I like how Ghost Rider's already front and center. That's sick as hell. Danny,
Robbie Ray is especially
right there.
Yeah,
you know. Getting like a Danny skin at some point. Oh, dude. So nice. I do like Robbie being the main Ghost Rider now, though. But that's fun. But
I mean, he's kind of been kind of like the uptick ever since like Midnight Suns. So I mean, that's
what I'm saying. It's like that's lit. I like Iron Man's design. They made his suit look like a fucking Gundam, and I'm like, that's a cool idea. Yep. That's really cool. I like that Yuri Lowenthal is now just the voice actor for Spider-Man. That's cool to me.
True. I also do like that like, Kamala Khan is also going to be in the game. It looks fun. So yeah, the roster.
I saw in the developer interview they did they did one they did it like a follow up like they did for Invincible. and the game director was literally like, "Yeah, we're looking to put in some characters who have like never appeared in like a fighting game. So like there's or games in general, I think he said, which I'm like, yo, who the fuck are you looking to put in? Because there's not a lot of characters who have been like who haven't appeared in a game yet. Like I can't even think of like it would be like some crazy like side picks, you know what I mean? It would be like Big Wheel or some shit.
Deep cut X-Men.
C-list X-Men.
Oh, Forget Me Not.
I was gonna say they could throw in Big Wheel. They could throw in
Big Wheel?
Who's like yeah, Big Wheel, dude. Big Wheel in a fighting game? Are you serious?
My god,
that'd be great.
So you're telling me, right, that I can get the Teenage Negro Ninja Thrashers in this game?
Listen,
yes,
every fighting game has to have at least one gag character.
Exactly. And if they're smart, they put in Big Wheel and they fucking like get everyone to be like, holy shit.
I need Big Wheel. I need Night Thrasher. I need Rocket Racer. I need
Night Thrasher in this, dude. Dude, imagine they throw in like Angela in this game. They throw in Angela in this game, and we're just like more rights issues come up. Like Angela's entire like moveset's all just like right issues where Todd McFarlane comes in going, no, Neil Gaiman, that's mine.
Shout out to Mr. Brooks. He's saying Blade better be in this game. I think I would like Blade in this game. You know, I
don't think Blade is going to miss a game anymore because I think they realized people just really like Blade after 2010, and ever since then they've just been like, yeah, throw Blade in there. He's a cool black dude with a sword. Fuck it, that sells. You know, look at I mean, and Arc System Works like created Nagoro Ryuki, like that's Blade in Guilty Gear, you know what I mean? Like, so like,
listen, hear me out. I don't know if they can do it because obviously Disney kind of has they may have a hold on these characters. I would love to see these guys do a take on Big Hero 6, a comic accurate Big Hero 6. That'd be sick.
That'd be wild.
That'd be sick as hell.
That'd be cool. I think Lockjaw should be a character.
Yes.
That'd be good.
I think Lockjaw teleporting all over the fucking the stage. I'd be like, yo, that's kind of elite. Like
now that you say that, there's probably gonna be an Inhuman in here somewhere.
No, like Kamala and Lockjaw are the only Inhumans I will allow to be in this game.
Are you on Black Bolt? Come on, man.
Bro, like Black Bolt.
You don't think Medusa would be a little cool? I mean, Sindel's sick as hell in MK. Like, you just do that in this game, and like that kind of prints money.
Fair. But other than that, I mean, obviously we're excited for it. I mean, I'm just gonna see how this game's gonna play. I'm waiting for gameplay to drop for sure.
Yeah, dude, I'm really like this and Invincible in the same year is gonna be like really fun.
It's fighters, but for fighting games, man, this year.
I'm more excited to watch this than play this because I know based on fighters, I cannot get by just button mashing playing this.
Oh, I'm so locked into learning.
Me and Seamus are gonna eat. We're gonna eat, bro.
I'm so locked into learning this shit, dude. I was just playing Street Fighter earlier today, and I was literally sitting there going like, I like this game. I do need a new tag fighter because like I got, I think I told you this. I got all the MVC games on sale on Steam for like $20 total, and I've just been playing those, and I've been like, fuck, dude, this is so fun.
But yeah,
I hope there's really cool additions. I hope Daredevil's in this game. I hope
we need Daredevil in a game, bro. I didn't even a fighting game so bad.
Dude, Daredevil in a fighting game, like you'd think that that would have happened already, but it hasn't.
It hasn't, you know.
Like
that would print money. That would print money, bro.
Because he's Catholic, and there's a lot of Catholic discrimination going on nowadays.
Oh man, but okay, so yeah, we gotta move on. But obviously, I think thumbs up. I think it's double thumbs up. I want to see more of this shit.
This is gonna be sick as hell. This is gonna be sick. I'm gonna love it. The designs are already sick. Every new character that drops, I'm gonna be like, oh, you know what I mean? So
maybe we'll play it on here. Maybe if we do games again, we'll play it on here.
If we get to watch Mikey get slaughtered.
Yeah, because I'm rusty when it comes to fighting games now.
I'm just doing Iron Man Infinites on you, and you're like, fuck it. Why am I even recording this?
But all right, so just to move on, the last topic is obviously now in terms of Marvel stuff. Literally a few days ago on Tuesday, we got the first 3 episodes of Ironheart, the new Disney Plus show. which is only 6 episodes, but they dropped the first half this week, and now we're gonna get the second half next week. But yeah, Ironheart, picking up off of Wakanda Forever, Dominic Thorne playing Riri Williams. We did a reaction. Rebecca did a reaction for it. So if you want to check that out, we thought of a trailer. Go check out that video. But yeah, off rip. What do y'all think? I'm gonna say just real quick. This show's good. All right, I think the show's solid. It's not perfect, but it's not no Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion was garbage. But I honestly am. I think it's one of those cases where character of color, a female character, is getting a lot of hate than it deserves. Like too much hate than it deserves. But I think the show so far is solid. I'm liking Riri Williams so far. What they're doing with her, liking some of the characters they've introduced so far. We'll talk about them when we break it down a little bit. Love the villain, and my boy Anthony Ramos as the Hood is wavy as fuck.
Dude, I like how they gave me Anthony Ramos as Hood, and they gave like a Sigurd adaptation, and they were like, "Yeah, Mikey, you're gonna get the shittiest fucking version of Cigar right here, right now."
I will mute you. Shut up. I don't want to be reminded of it again.
Like, yo, Mikey.
Oh man,
You can't talk about that without bringing it up.
Hairline.
Oh, shut up. But Kane's like, yeah, the meat and potatoes. I've been waiting for this. But yeah, bro. So Ironheart so far, I think it's good so far. I mean, it has its problems, but for the most part, I'm intrigued from what they're doing with the plot. Bro, Rebecca, Seamus, Offer, what are your thoughts on Ironheart so far? I don't know if we should get into spoilers or not. I'm debating it or not, but
I'm gonna get into spoilers.
I think we can wait till spoilers, because I think we're gonna get into spoilers during the entire when we do the full review.
Yeah.
I don't mind just not doing, because it's only the first 3 episodes, so it's not really anything major I need to talk about.
Yeah, there's nothing spoiler I need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I enjoyed the first 3 episodes. I was like, I'm having fun with this. You know what I mean? I liked seeing Jim Rash return as basically Dean Pelton from Community again. His cameo was funny. Again, Anthony Ramos as the Hood, couldn't have asked for better casting. It's a great adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
My only nitpick, not even a criticism, I just wish, I don't really like the leather hood. I wish it was a nice silk or a cloth.
Yeah, we talked about that.
That's just a personal thing. Just because I think the leather hood, it just looks a little funky. I'm like, I know they did it probably because if they did cloth, it would sit weird on his head. But I'm like, it's kind of supposed to sit a little weird on his head. That's why it's funny. But he's really good. He's really fucking good. I like a lot of the character stuff they're setting up with Ironheart so far, and I think Dominic Thorne is putting in the work with this performance a little bit. I'm like, yo, I'm actually sold on her. I liked her in Wakanda Forever, and I was like, yeah, I would check out an Ironheart. And now that I've checked out an Ironheart, I'm like, I wouldn't mind seeing her show up in other stuff. And and Alden Ehrenreich as his character Joe.
Bro, that was great. I love that twist with him.
I had already heard that. I already had that spoiled for me through rumors and shit like that. But when the twist happened, I was like, "This is really fun." That was really cool the way they did that.
Real quick,
a solid first 3 episodes. It's definitely in the higher area of MCU shows. Honestly, they put a little more effort into this one, probably because Ryan Coogler produced it, and he was like, "Yo, hold on."
Yeah, shout out to Ryan Coogler. I mean, I feel like him producing it is definitely a big factor.
Executive producing, coming on set, going come on, we got to actually at least make this watchable.
We got to have a story for this one.
Mm-hmm. K. Sean was saying that he became a fan of Anthony Ramos in, I'm assuming, Transformers and Beast Wars, which he was good. He was solid in that movie. And he also said that I hope we get a CGI transformation for the Hood. If I get that, I'll give it full remarks. I'll give full remarks. That is all. So I hope so too.
I mean, listen, man. This is a little bit of an aura debt moment for me, but I became a fan of Anthony Ramos in Hamilton in 2016. So
I was a fan of him in She's Gotta Have It when he played Mars.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yeah, I am admitting I'm a Hamilton fan, but I am an early Anthony Ramos enjoyer, which I think balances it out. You know,
that's fair. That's fair. Rebecca, what are your thoughts on Ironheart in the first 2 episodes so far?
Yeah, so originally I was going to skip this, and then you're like, oh, we're going to talk about it on the channel after saying you weren't sure if you were going to watch it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I was pleasantly surprised. It's way more solid than I thought it was going to be. A lot of the nitpicks I have at this moment are stuff that I think are going to be resolved in the next 3 episodes. So I'm willing to wait on that. Like you said, I still don't think the show is perfect, but I think it's perfectly solid for what it is right now. I like that they're going all in on, Riri is a criminal. She's doing bad stuff to, build her Iron Man suit. Yeah. I like that they didn't shy away from that and the, more villainous aspects of like the Hood and all of that. I think the crew for the Hood, I don't really care about too much. Like they're all just kind of superfluous.
That's one of the bad parts for me is like I feel like all the crew members are very like one note, but they serve their purpose. So I mean, that's just my take on it.
They could have cut that crew down by like 2 people. I think it could have just been like Eric Andre and like 1 or 2 other people, and I would have been like, all right, yeah.
But yeah, the one thing I will comment on is in our review for the trailer, you had said, oh, a certain character might show up, and I rolled my eyes and you clipped that. And I'm like, God damn it, they're going that direction, I think.
Yep. I did clip that. You're right. I forgot. But yeah, I mean, listen, just saying. I think they might actually pull the trigger on this one this time.
We got enough going on in the MCU now. If I have to see one fan theory where this guy shows up, I'm leaving.
I can't believe they got Sacha Baron Cohen playing him too.
Yeah, which I think is good casting, to be honest with you. You know,
I'm just like, what made you look at Borat and go like, yeah, that's the devil.
He's like the crew definitely took a hit. I fucking hate Eric Andre and anything. Keep him off the damn screen.
I like seeing Eric Andre and shit because he's such a bad actor. It's like he's getting publicly humiliated in every single role he's in.
Oh man, and then Mr. Brooks is like Borat Fisto.
Exactly. You're just like you saw. Dude, I was watching like Borat, and I was just like, you know what? This looks like the devil to me. Like he looks evil.
Okay, Sean, like nothing really personal to him. For real, I just can't take that serious when he's on screen. And Mr. Brooks is like, very nice soul. How much? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
When we do our spoiler review, when the rest of the show comes out, we'll get into it.
Yeah, we don't even know if this is actually
true.
Happen. But everyone said it is happening, and I'm like, this is a little like, you know.
But real quick, I just want to say, I mean, what I have on
funny. All right, it is arguably funny to cast a Zionist Israel supporter as the devil. That is funny to me. Especially in a Ryan Coogler produced show. It is like, I think Ryan knew it.
Yeah, he may have known what he was doing.
He was like, yeah, Israelis are the devil, honestly.
What I got on the slides here real quick, I'm just saying what I like in the Hood. Obviously, I love it what Anthony Ramos is doing. Love the character of Parker so far. Riri's mom, I like Riri's mom a lot. I think her name Ronnie Williams. I like I like her character dynamic and how she's trying to balance, having a genius for a daughter and how overwhelming that can be at times and how distant she feels from that. I think that's a really cool arc they're going with their character. Natalie, the Natalie character. I mean, it seemed a lot of people being like, a lot of people saying that this is like one of their worst parts of the show is the Natalie character. I low-key kind of like it. I mean, I like the narrative that they're going with the Natalie, AI. And the story and how that ties to Riri personally. I like that angle with it. I do like the actress who plays her a lot. Cause I remember she was in This Is Us, that show. I mean, she can be she can be annoying at times. I get that, but I think for the narrative, I'm digging what they're doing. And plus, her being in here is from the comics anyway, so I do like that. And also Alden Hedrick as as Joe, I think is. I'm very curious to see what he does with them. And plus, we were talking about this off camera, Seamus, like knowing what Alden is capable of as an actor. I'm curious to see if they go that turn with his character, how he's gonna interpret that in his performance. So I'm very curious to see what they're gonna do with him.
Do you think he's gonna drop a version of the Scraps line?
That'd be crazy. I
wouldn't put it past them.
That'd be crazy.
He drops a version of the Scraps line, and it's very racially motivated.
I don't know. We'll see. But I know one thing that I feel like, I mean, it's kind of been shown in the trailers and stuff, so it's not really much of a spoiler. But I feel like I remember me and Rebecca were talking about what they're going to be doing to separate, give a little bit of a distinction between Riri and Tony Stark in terms of like especially the way they build their suits. But I feel like, since it showed it off in the trailer, so I don't mind saying it, but I feel like the end result is that Riri is going to be infusing her tech with magic, or do like by the end of the show. That's like a theory that I got, which I think is kind of a cool way to separate her from Tony Stark in a way. Doing that, having her be tech character, but also like a little bit of magic mixed in. That'd be kind of cool.
I've always liked the idea that Tony Stark just doesn't believe in magic. I always like that bit. It's always funny to me.
And she doesn't either. So, I mean, it's like, fair.
He comes with Doctor Strange, and he'll be like, but what you do is a bunch of fucking bullshit. Like, that's always funny to me. So I don't mind Ironheart being the one to be like, oh, yeah, fuck. Magic in my suit? That's sick,
Kayshawn saying one thing he's not too keen on his relationship with old boy, but with Zay. Yeah, I mean, it's not really like that important.
It feels very shoehorned in a series where I was like, I don't know if I need a romantic aspect to this show. I think I'm fine with her just having to deal with all the other shit she has to deal with,
And he's also saying, black girl magic. I'm like, and I feel like low-key, that's what they're doing, and I kind of think it's hilarious. And I know it's gonna piss a lot of people off, and I think it's hilarious. But yeah, bro.
Giving Ironheart actual black girl magic is kind of fucking great.
Yeah, it's kind of great. But real quick, I just wanted to say a little bit because again, I've been seeing what a lot of the haters and the chuds and
stop listening to them.
No, I haven't been watching them. I've been watching another channel that exposes all that shit. I said it to Seamus and he loved it. So, but one of the things that's been pissing me off, I think, me and Kay were talking about it like last night, about like some of the things I've been saying about it, which I think are bullshit and don't make any sense. And I made like a brief little list of what I'm saying. There was way more that I like forgot about, but these are that sound offhand while I literally were writing them while we were talking. But one of the gripes is that I think is like one of the questions one of the points to bring up is like, oh, her being a genius for no reason because she didn't earn or struggle for it, right? So she didn't earn or struggle to be a genius. Like that makes sense. That doesn't make any sense. How can you earn to be a genius? Like you're just a genius.
How can you earn being a genius? Like I earned like what? You want her to take a test on camera? We got to see this character take a test on camera. Also, they did say she earned it by going to college like at 13. I think that's earning it, guys. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Yeah. And so that I think is some bullshit. Another one was like, why does she need money to build a suit when she could? Why does she need to raise money to build a suit when she could use her money that she got from MIT? Not realizing that like it's an MIT student grant, like that's for tuition, boarding, housing, and plus MIT is expensive as shit. So like, it makes sense why she would need to like make some money on the side to like build the suit in the first place because that's her own personal project. So that's just,
I think people also just forget too, and I understand it's a connected universe, but like sometimes you change things to fit the story you want to tell. That happens all the time in comics.
That's true.
I know of so many MIT students who deal drugs on the side and they're not building a fucking suit. They just want to fucking like Gucci chain from the fucking shop on Newbury.
Yeah.
Like
and then just a follow up with that, I was like, oh, why does she need why can't you just like contact the Wakandans to like, have her get money for a suit? Because Shuri in Wakanda Forever literally told her that she couldn't bring any resources back. She couldn't bring any resources from Wakanda because they want, obviously because Wakanda's isolationist and all that. So obviously like they didn't pay attention to that shit. Another one is like, oh, her living in the hood. She lives in a suburb in Chicago. That's not the hood. Well, another one was, why did she immediately resort to crime? She didn't immediately resort to crime. She actually did not. She was actually like abstaining from it at first until the hood kind of like manipulated her into doing so.
I mean, to be fair on that one, she was still a little quick, but again, it's the story they want to tell. They're not gonna, they could have another scene of her mulling it over, but ultimately it gets you to the same place.
Mm-hmm. And there's another one that I'll say that's on here, but that's like, I guess, a spoiler, so I'm not gonna really go into it. But yeah, just a lot of the gripes of this show, I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense. Y'all just hate black women. Just be real. Just say you hate black women. Like, it just no bullshit. Come on now, guys. But overall, I mean, obviously the season's not done, but what would you give, like, out of 5 stars, what would you give this first half of the season so far? Who wants to go first?
3.5, probably. 3.5. I think it's solid. I'm enjoying it.
Are we scaling it on a 5 scale?
Yeah,
I'm doing it out of 5.
Yeah, first half, so 5 scale.
I'd probably also agree with 3.5. Then I think it's solid. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's far from the worst show Marvel's ever done. And yeah, as long as it keeps what it's doing right now, I think it'll end up staying pretty solid. It's always the landings for these shows where they lose.
That's true. And I mean, I'm gonna go the same route. Like, for me, it's like a 3 out of 5 or a 3.5. I'm really digging it. I'm liking the Riri character a lot. I'm liking what they're doing with the hood and some of the supporting characters as well, like the ones I have listed here. But one thing is, though, just like, I don't really know. Like, I'm very curious, especially like what Rebecca said, the way they're gonna end the show, but like what they're gonna do to to like set up Riri going forward in the MCU, because I have no idea like where they're gonna go with this, like in the MCU in the future with this character.
They're just gonna throw her on Champions, Young Avengers, whatever they call it.
Yeah. So that's the one thing I'm just like, like seeing where they've gone the first half of the show. I'm like, where are they gonna go with this? Like, when the show's over? Like, I'm very curious on that. Obviously we're gonna see next week. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what's gonna go down, especially like with the hood and with the magic and the tech stuff. I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen. Also one thing I want to say, I also like the fact that they do a really good PTSD arc with her character that really ties to her path. I really do enjoy. So I thought that was a really good thing that they're doing with the character. What's it called? Mr. Brooks is out here saying, there are some legit gripes, but most of the shit I've seen is clearly the racist, misogynist type of criticism, i.e. people who haven't even watched the show but have so much to say. That's what I was getting across. So thanks for adding on to that, Mr. Brooks. Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it. So I guess we'll give it I'm giving it a thumbs up, like a solid thumbs up. I'm very looking forward to seeing the rest of the season next week. And obviously I think it's safe to say we're probably gonna do a review for it, to cover the rest of the show as a whole. So I feel like people if you want to have us go more into detail, tune into our review whenever that comes out. So far Ironheart is good. Highly recommend checking it out. And that's pretty much it. I mean, usually with these, I usually do like if anyone has any like recommendations or anything they want to drop. But I don't really. I have one thing, and it's not, and it's kind of like it's a shameless plug for something. But yeah, anything anyone wants to, any recommendations? Anyone got any movies, TV shows, comics? Like what's
I could just recommend the any of the Absolute or Ultimate books, because those have still been.
Say the same thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Those have been
the Absolute line stands strong.
Yeah,
let's just take a moment. Let's go. I'm gonna go over each one. Absolute Batman right now, real quick.
To be fair, I'm an issue behind. So like, I know Bane. I know Bane.
You only missed the Bane introduction, which was hilarious. The Mr. Freeze arc was very fun. Matches Malone, being an actual dude who's friends with I was like, that's hilarious. Scott Snyder, you're my favorite Batman writer again. I forgive you for Batman Who Laughs. You're okay. Absolute Superman, It's a little step
I like
down.
the Brainiac thing they
down.
did though. That Brainiac.
I like the Brainiac thing they did. That was crazy. I was like, that's Jason Aaron at his best when he's doing something psycho like that. But then the Smallville bit, I was like, I do like Peacemaker Metallo. That's kind of fun. Yeah. I still have to see where it goes. I don't know if I really buy Jimmy Olsen being like a part of the Omega Men like resistance group and like Lois Lane being a soldier. I'm still a little not sold on that. Absolute Green Lantern feels like a CW show. I'm not really rocking with it at all. Absolute Flash, I love Gorilla Grodd and Wally. I love them together. So funny. Yeah. I'm excited to see what did they say? Female fawn? I was like, yo, hold on. That's cool. Heatwave and Firestorm are coming up next. And someone else, I forget, a wizard too.
Weather Wizard.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what's going on with Barry because they're still like teasing that like there's like some still he might still be alive in a constant state of dying or whatever. But
hold on,
Absolute Wonder Woman.
Wait, K-Sean's saying that Absolute Superman he thinks is the only one changing the game. I'm like,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is not. I love Jason Aaron. I love that book.
No,
absolutely not. You're not reading Absolute Wonder Woman. You're not reading Absolute Batman, and you're not even reading Absolute Martian Manhunter, the one that's actually changing the game and will win an Eisner. But anyway, Absolute Wonder Woman. I've actually the Maze arc I've been fucking with, and I think it is absolutely beautiful that she like when she was creating her home, she creates the Hall of Justice, but it's in like the swamp where the Legion of Doom's like dome base is, and I was like, that's sick as fuck. Wait, hold on. That's actually the coolest thing I've ever seen, Kelly Thompson. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Absolute Wonder Woman so far has been my favorite. So like
it's so good. Absolute Martian Manhunter's above it, but Absolute Wonder Woman's like my favorite actual comic, and Absolute Martian Manhunter's like this is like actually like a book that is like a piece of art and not just like a comic book, you know. But Absolute Martian Manhunter, the last 2 issues, I have been blown away. I can't even describe how fucking good that book is. It is the most insane art I've ever seen in a book, and Denis Camp is doing shit that I've never seen. I haven't seen someone do this type of esoteric writing since like Grant Morrison when they were at their height. I was like, holy shit, it's fucking insane, man. Book you have to like. Oh, dude,
I'm behind, but I've been digging it.
There's a double page splash where John is trying to talk to his wife, and these explosions are happening, and the Martian is like amplifying both the spirits of the people who are caught in the explosion with the emotion that John is feeling towards trying to communicate with his wife, and it's just the most beautiful double page splash I've seen in a comic in like 10 years. I was like, holy fuck, I can't believe this is a real book I'm reading. Okay. Ultimate Wolverine. I'm jumping over to Ultimate because we got through all the Absolute books. Ultimate Wolverine, I don't like. I officially don't like it. I think you're giving me all of the same like 616 characters, but they just have scars on them now. I don't care. I'm sorry. I liked good Sabretooth. When you gave me Sabretooth as a good guy, I was like, wait a minute, that's lit. But now you're like, oh yeah, here's Gambit though. It's just Gambit and Kitty Pryde, but they just have like a scar over their eyes now, and I'm like, and even when they did like dark future versions in the 616, they give them crazy designs, but here all you can think is to give them some scars. Like, I don't know, not really rocking with it. They already freed Logan from his Winter Soldier mind control, so he's just Wolverine now, and I'm like, you couldn't have waited to do that till like issue 10. Like, we're already undoing the mind control in issue 6. I got 6 more issues of just regular Wolverine. I don't care. So that's the bottom for me. Then I go Ultimate Black Panther. The vibranium fucking like spirit shit is still cooking. I'm liking it. It still has a ways to go before it gets up to like a really good bit, but I'm really liking it. I don't know. They don't even have a name for this guy yet who lives in the vibranium, but he already looks sick as fuck, and he just appears to like just put someone through the floor and then disappears, and I'm like, oh shit, there he is. And then Ultimate X-Men. That shit has been dark as shit, dude. That might be the darkest book I'm reading. That shit, dude, every time they show Tōkon, he is in hell. They have like This is the most disgusting fucking. He's like constantly on the Wolverine X cross, but there's like so many tubes coming out of his mouth, and his eyes are always wide open, and he constantly is like looking around like he doesn't know where he is. And I'm like, they sent this dude to hell. What did the maker have against Tōkon? He didn't even fucking know him. He knew that weird Ultimate James Howlett's son dude who showed up in that Ultimate X-Men book that no one read and no one liked.
Listen, I read that shit. Don't fucking diss Jimmy.
Jimmy said the 616, so no one remembers that he is. They just think that Miles was the only one, but Jimmy was there too, and they didn't even have the maker visit him because the maker was like, I don't give a fuck. Ultimate Spider-Man dude.
Great.
I can't believe you haven't read the new issue yet because everyone who's you read it?
Yeah.
Dude, Vanessa as a Mysterio? What are we doing? What's going on? Just fight back. Half of your staff are Mysterios. You're gonna get killed, man. They're gonna bomb you. Dude, Wesley's a Mysterio and Vanessa just has to. Who's he got left? Like paralyzed Black Cat? Like we're fucked.
Oh my lord, it was crazy.
You know what I mean? So that last issue. I liked Peter. Why was Jackal in it? Why did you see Jackal for like 2 seconds? And I was like, they just punched him, and he just like I was like, oh okay, there's Jackal. I like Doc Ock living in Peter's apartment and him going like, I'm here, like I'm like you guys were like hiding out in like a government facility in like Utah with Sandman, and I thought I'd just like hang out for a bit. And Peter was like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Oh man,
I like bum ass Doc Ock. I do like him. I don't think he's going to become a villain. I don't think he will, because I think Hickman likes the idea of Doc Ock being a slightly bummier version of Peter Parker, who's like just like sitting in people's homes and then begging Harry for like, please give me the money for a particle accelerator, please, I need it. And I think that is a much funnier dynamic with Peter, who is a fully fledged adult, and then Doc Ock, who's like a bum burnout, who's just like, please, I need money.
Oh my gosh, that's
and then Black Cat manipulating Venom to like start working for Fisk. I was like, this is genius. This is incredible. I love that shit.
Is that it?
Great issue, dude.
Is that it?
No, dude. Ultimates. The best.
Oh Lord, Seamus, we have to go.
That's your cutoff. For once, it's not Mikey keeping us here.
I know, Mikey. You gotta read that issue. The fact that Luke Cage and Iron Fist are training all of the escapees from prison to be heroes, because all of the people in prison were people who were community leaders that were then taken by the Maker and then put in prison so they couldn't lead or help their community. And then Iron Man.
Stop right there, because I want to actually read it, because I did not know.
Well, why the fuck haven't you read it? We talked about doing this.
Behind.
Podcast,
I told you this.
You just decided you wanted to talk about fucking Transformers.
No, I
don't give a fuck about Kirkman, man. Denis camped writing the 2 best books of this year, and your ass is sitting on your ass going like, I guess I'll read it.
I guess I'll read it. I'm behind. I have shit to do.
No, you don't. You don't do shit. Also, real quick, 2 sentences. I read the new history of the DC universe. What? I don't know what the fuck that book. We don't need that book. We don't need it. That's all I wanted to say. I like what Mark Waid. I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do with that book. Weird.
Rebecca, I'll ask if you have anything, but Seamus probably said everything that you wanted to say. So
yeah, he more than covered it.
All right.
I just had to do a quick. We had to do a quick update. Every time we do an After Dark, we got to do a quick. Yeah, here's Absolute and Ultimates update. They're still great books. Please buy more comics. Please, I need.
Real quick, what I wanted to recommend real quick is my boy Greg Anderson, who's a writer. He does a book, Is Not the Worst Spider. He just dropped his Kickstarter campaign where he's doing a kind of like a dystopian future of John Henry called Hammer, Act 1. John Henry versus the Robert Apocalypse. And it's a nice little Kickstarter he's doing for the first issue of the book. And it's only has like 21 days to go.
That looks sick as hell, dude.
Campaign.
That looks sick.
No, we've been talking about it off camera, and I'm really digging the idea. I'm gonna probably donate and get a copy. But he has a bunch of tiers, digital PDF, and a bunch of special editions, a bunch of variants for the comic. It's awesome. It's a spin-off of his is Nana, the Worst Spider, and John Henry book that he did. So it's a continuation spin-off of that. It's pretty much just like a John Henry in an AI apocalypse. It's kind of like it's kind of like pretty much like if you take John Henry and Terminator and combine that, that's what that is. So So yeah, and we will be getting him on the show for an interview sometime this week, next week. So yeah, but I just want to throw out the Kickstarter, and I'll probably drop the link in the description after we're done wrapping up here. But yeah, check this out. It's gonna be good. He's been cooking, and I'm proud of him for it. So yeah, we'll see him probably looking for the interview next week. But yeah, so all right, so we're good on that. So I guess we'll pretty much end it over here. So thanks for everyone who are watching this or will watch this. We appreciate it. Please be on the lookout for more content by hitting the subscribe button and hitting the notification bell so we know when we drop new stuff. Please, as a few shameless plugs, please check out some of the last videos we've done. Check out the Ironheart reaction that we did. Check out the other reactions that we've done. Check out the Transformers, Deadly Class, the other Indie Corner After Darks, the clips. Again, we put a lot of hard work into what we do, and we really appreciate the love and support. Thanks for people that watches. Kayshawn, love you. Mr. Brooks, love you as well, bro. Appreciate it as always. And yeah, be on the lookout for our Ironheart review next week when the show wraps up, as well as the Greg Anderson Elise interview for Hammer next week as well. Also, check out our interview for Keep Cross. Shout out to Keep Cross, who I interviewed a few weeks ago, who does the book Day Black. That was a great conversation as well. So shout out to him. And yeah, as always, people, get them safe. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll catch you on the next one. All right. Peace.